NBC News medical contributor Dr. Natalie Azar joins me now. Dr. Azar, we just saw how challenging it can be to get tested or get a test right now. So if you have been exposed to someone who's positive, you're vaccinated, how much should you worry if you can't find a test? What should you do?
Well, if you're asymptomatic, you can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to stop trying to get a test. Certainly, if you're having symptoms, you need to essentially assume that you might be positive and isolate until you can get your hands on a test that shows that you are negative. You know, we just literally, it's everywhere, Joe, around the country. In our area here, my best friend's husband, our closest friends, had to drive over to my house on Saturday night, and I gave them half of one of our kits to test my friend because she was unable to get one anywhere around the area and waited 4 or 5 hours at an urgent care the next day just to get tested. So everyone's experiencing this, but to that point, reach out to friends, reach out to family, anybody. Some people have kits, right? We bought them a couple of months ago, not anticipating that we would be in such dire straits right now with shortages, but you need to do your part. And again, if you're symptomatic and you can't get a test, you basically assume you're positive until proven otherwise.
All right, so ask your friends and hope you have good friends like Dr. Natalie Azar. I want to talk about something a little bit positive. This morning, Moderna announced its booster dose works well against the Omicron variant. So what does this new data from Moderna mean? And for those who got this booster, do we know just how well protected they are?
Right. So this, Dr. FAUCI sort of alluded to this last week in the press conference about Moderna's data. This is very, very similar to what Pfizer's, regulatory agency reported to us a couple of weeks ago, and that is that if you've had a 2-shot series of either Pfizer or Moderna, you are not well protected against Omicron. But if you boost, in this case with Moderna, at either the 50 microgram dose, which is the approved booster dose, or if you're a candidate for the higher 100 microgram third dose, essentially, you have a significant rise, as Kathy pointed out in her piece, in those neutralizing antibodies, which will protect you against infection. So this is great news. If you were a Moderna, recipient of that vaccine, you absolutely, if you haven't already been boosted, please get your booster. And again, you can mix it. You don't have to get the Moderna booster. You can get a Pfizer booster, get whatever booster you can get your hands on.
You mentioned Dr. Fauci. He now says Omicron could be a real problem for our hospital systems. Here's what he told Chuck Todd on Meet the Press.
Our hospitals, if things look like they're looking now, in the next week or two, are going to be very stressed with people because, again, we have so many people in this country who are eligible to be vaccinated who have not yet been vaccinated, and that's going to be a real problem for a stress on the hospital system.
Dr. Azar, we're a little tight on time here, but what are we seeing in hospitals right now?
Well, remember that there is a lag. So, for example, in New York City, we're seeing a significant bump in the number of cases, but our hospitals in New York City so far have not been stressed because of the Omicron variant. But remember, Joe, it is a patchwork across this country. There are areas that are reeling still from surges in Delta. So if we add the numbers of Omicron, even if it doesn't cause more severe disease, just by sheer absolute number of cases that will increase, we will see increased hospitalizations. We have staffing shortages. And also people who've neglected health conditions over the last 2 years who are showing up in the emergency departments across the country. Flu is back. We need to brace ourselves for a very tough couple of weeks ahead, unfortunately, Joe.
All right. Dr. Natalie Azar, as always, we appreciate your candor and your expertise. Thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.